here we are today, and we're just going to dive right in. We have Kim. Kim, can you give us a quick intro? Kim from IBM.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hi, and welcome to IBM.tv. I'm Kim Calhoun, your host today. And today, everyone, this is very exciting. Thank you, Bob Ferguson. We are interviewing Bob Ferguson, the State Attorney General of Washington. And this is a very special field trip because we're talking about the game of chess and how it has made a positive impact and influence on not just Bob's life, but many other children's life. Joining us is Elliot Neff. Hello, Elliot.
Hi, everyone.
Life. And Elliot brought with him some of his bright, brilliant students at Chess for Life. We've been watching for the last 30 minutes them play with the chess pieces. These are pre-K or preschoolers, right? They're ages 3, and how they have been interacting with the chess pieces. So welcome, Bob, and thank you very much for taking the time to spend with us here at IBM.
Happy to do it, yeah.
Thank you. So let's dive in with some chess. And Damani, can you show us how to set up a chessboard today? Can you do that? How do we do it? Can you show Mr. Ferguson and myself?
Oh, the pawns.
Oh, cool.
Let's start with those guys. The pawns are the soul of chess. That's what somebody once said.
Cool.
I forgot how many pawns you got. Was it 6?
How many do you have, Damani?
You told me earlier. I already forgot.
You have 2?
You're right there. Set up. You
Yeah, you said 2. Okay. Oh, baby 3 now? No. Am I doing it right?
What card is it pick?
Yeah. Does this one go here? Where does that one go?
It's a trick chair. That's right.
That's right.
Good point. You got it.
Got it. On 5.
Oh,
Here's another
can I
one.
help you? I think my work goes right there. Oh, the knight. I'm sure I know where the knight goes. Don't tell me. I used to do this really well. C1. Goes right in C1. Shoot, I can't trick you. All right. Now, my toughest test is coming up for you. This is the one that can trick just about everybody. You're not going to try it. You know, okay. How about this one? Yeah, this one always used to trick me when I was a kid. To go like that. I can't trick you. Queen goes in her own color, doesn't she? How do you remember? Yep. It's like queen on the white square. That's how I remember it now. Good work.
Nice job.
I couldn't trick you. How did Mr. Neff do over there? Is he looking good?
Are you okay?
He's okay.
Fell down.
Bishop fell.
Damani, if you're ready to play a chess game, you ready to shake hands? Ready to have fun? Nice. Can you shake hands with Mr. Ferguson next to you?
I'm your advisor over here, I think.
That's
I didn't
awesome.
see it.
So Elliot, let's kind of get the show going here because I know that we've unfortunately got limited time.
Sure.
And this is all
great.
very
So,
fun.
appreciate that.
So explain to me a little bit about the handshaking. That seems to be very important in the chess world. And before we get started, Bob, I'm told that you're quite the chess champion.
Used to be. A long time ago.
How often do you play chess now?
I never play now, honestly. It's so I play with my kids a little bit. My kids are 11, so a little bit with them. But I follow international chess, online. But I don't play tournaments. My day job is keeping me a little busy these days. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I used to play all the time. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about. Yeah, we got several cameras on you. Let's talk.
Now I've got to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about how you've had quite a chess career before you got into this other career. How did that influence what you're doing today?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I talk about how chess has influenced my life, my career, my job as Attorney General all the time. It'd be hard in just a minute or two to summarize that. But what I would say is that outside of being part of a big family, I've got a lot of siblings. Outside that influence of the family, the most, I'd say, influential part of my entire life in terms of my career would be my time spent playing chess. you know, between the ages of 9 and 19, you know, I spent thousands of hours studying chess, playing chess, thinking about chess, dreaming about chess, and it teaches you many positive things. Just sort of one that might be sort of apparent is, as Elliot and I are playing a game, you know, my job is to predict, to anticipate what he's going to do, and that skill of putting yourself in another person's shoes, anticipating what they're going to do, thinking ahead, being objective about that, is critically important for a chess master. You will not be successful without it at any level of chess. That's a really good skill to have as a lawyer or as a politician, to anticipate what the other side's going to do, and not just anticipate, but to be really objective about what is he going to do, what next move does he want to do, what's his strategy, and to put yourself in those shoes and anticipate that is a skill that I think has really helped me in politics and as Attorney General, for sure.
Well, that's amazing to hear. You know, in my lifetime, I've really not been much involved in chess in the last 2 or 3 years. Even my logo is a chess piece on one of our TV shows.
Awesome.
The night.
We need that for the
Masters.
The logo should be some sort of chess piece, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's the horse or the knight. But I realized in my journey here that many successful people play chess. And in my 2 years, I think I've met more chess masters than I've ever known existed. So, I mean, it's been quite fun to talk to all these very successful people and hear how chess impacted their life to this successful journey. You had mentioned that you came from a large family. Elliot and I were talking about this. It doesn't cost very much to play chess, does it?
It's true. It's true, and that's one thing I loved about it was I could just do it, and something I think chess teaches, what I think is really important is if we're playing this chess game, if I lose the game, it's because Elliot outplayed me, right? There's no referee to blame the game on. There's no weather to blame it on. There's no opposing home crowd, you know, that distracted me. I'm accountable for all my decisions. All my mistakes are mine alone to make, right? I lose the games because he beat me fair and square, and I made mistakes. And so it teaches you to take ownership of the decisions you make, to take accountability for those decisions, not to blame somebody else. You look ridiculous as a chess master if I lost a game and tried to blame it on luck or some other factor than Elliot just beating me fair and square. And that's frankly, I think, a really important lesson in life to have, is that sense of accountability, but also teaches you I'm in charge, right? Whatever age you are, you can be 3, you're in charge of setting up your army, you're in charge of making those decisions. And I found that actually kind of empowering as a kid, really, that I could compete with adults on a level field, and I was making the decisions. And if I made mistakes, those were my mistakes, and I had to learn from them.
Yeah, very good, Bob.
I couldn't have said something any much better, because it's not prejudiced, right? You don't have to be physically capable of a certain capacity, like a football player, a baseball player. But football players and baseball players play chess. But at the end of the day, it's each person has that equal rights. A girl can play a boy, right? I mean, it's a very equal right game, and it's all about your moves and your decisions and your choices. And it's excellent to narrow down.
It's true.
So we want to introduce a couple of other people to the panel here.
Great,
so if we can have a couple more people take seats here along this side and transition just a little bit.
It was nice seeing you. Thanks for
Nice to
helping me
meet
out.
you.
Are you going to be my rook here for me? Okay.
Can we get another camera on some of these people?
Come on up here, Zion. We're going to have you say hi to
Zion?
Attorney Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
Thank you,
How are
guys.
you doing? You want to sit next to me over here? There's an empty chair. Will you take it? Oh,
I'm going
awesome.
to take a seat here just for a moment to say hi to Mr. Bob. Okay.
How old are you?
Do you think you can shake hands?
Whoa, it's a trick chair.
That's right. Can you shake hands?
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming
Very
by.
cool. Thanks for coming and playing a bit of chess. So we're going to have you step outside the room while we have some more chat going on. Did you have fun playing chess? Can you shake hands with me? Can you high five? Can you fist bump? Yeah.
Hey,
Nice job.
Zion.
Okay. So
Great seeing
let's
you,
go.
Diane.
Thank you for coming.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so,
Absolutely, of course. Hey, Don, come right over here for a second. Stand right there. All right.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
next to Bob, and I'll join you right here just to make it easy for
Okay,
them.
good deal.
So here we are, Kim.
Bob,
and
thank
we're ready
you
to
so much
introduce-
for this. How wonderful for these children to have such a great field trip. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kim. And so
I'm
we've got
such a big advocate for inspiring young children to be able to learn something like this. I might have been an attorney if I came to see you.
Nicely said. So I'll just introduce myself here. I'm Elliot Neff with Chess for Life. Invested my life using the game of chess to impact youth, and it's been a joy to partner with different individuals here. So I'll just pass it down the line here. We've already met Bob, and Abby, can you go next? Introduce yourself.
My name is Abby Ajero, and I am the site supervisor at Children's Home Society of Washington. We are located at the Highline College, and we have a Head Start, Early Head Start, and ECAP programs in that facility.
Excellent.
And hi there, I'm Joel Ryan. I run the Head Start ECAP Association in the state of Washington.
Wow.
Cool.
Okay, we got quite a panel here for what we're trying to gain here. So let's talk a little bit about what, as a panel, Elliot, first off, I want to congratulate you because, as I've been told, not many people make a successful career out of chess. Congratulations on that, right? Not many people get to make a living doing something they love that much, especially a game. And so congratulations, but it took a lot of skills, knowledge. I even think, and I'm going to add this, guys, because we list those strategic moves that, strategic skills that you learn, but I think it teaches persistence and not have a fear of moving forward, right? Taking that next move. It teaches you that confidence, right? To take that next step. And even if you fail, you still have the confidence to take that next move. So you are an entrepreneur. It takes a lot of persistence. How did this impact you?
Well, I'll just touch base on that briefly because, yes, I was high school state champion here in Washington, national master, just like Bob Ferguson, our special guest. And what I'm excited about because of the game of chess was its impact for kids and youth, especially in the early education space. So for the last 16 years, I've been full-time without a job is how I feel. Being able to do chess with 3- and 4-year-olds, like you just saw. And that's why I'm so excited that we could even get together today, is really to talk about that impact of chess upon this age, helping them be ready for kindergarten. And so, I want to just segue that right on to the team here because of the outcomes that we're seeing to raise kindergarten's abilities. One of those things from chess is if you think you can, you probably can. But if you think you can't, it's not going to happen. And so it gives them that confidence and that boost. And like we saw, counting and using the squares on the board to build their letters and numbers, learning to problem solve, shake hands, work together. I'm going to punt it right over here if I can towards Abby, who's really been on the front line.
Let's talk, Abby. I mean, you're right there in the middle with all of these young minds. What influences their brighter futures? Because, in today's time, it's so tough, right? We've got so many things that are involved out there, but you got the task of introducing these children and their young minds. What do you think about all of this chess stuff?
First of all, I want to give the credit to the educators at the center because they are right there in the classrooms doing it. One of them is right here, Miss Nicole Boone. We are, like I said, a Head Start and Early Head Start program, an ECAP program, and our main focus is school readiness for children. And we also know that without social emotional balance, it is difficult for children to learn. What we have seen with the introduction of chess, in 2016, we actually, Elliot came in with the pilot and Ryan too. How was this going to work with children that are 3 years old? So we found out that comradeship, the fact that they're able to work together, it was the first one, the first shaking of hands. At that age, it's all mine. But we had to go through letting them know, we have to work together and, taking turns, which is very difficult at that age too. So we found out that some of those social skills were really started coming up with our children. And that was very, very helpful. First of all, the Chess for Life team had to come and teach our teachers who had no clue. All of us.
So you
All
can
of us.
play chess now, right?
Oh, well, at the level, at the children's level, I'm not a master yet.
Hey, that's better than me. That's better than me.
Yes.
He's gonna teach me. But you know, that's something to think about. Some of the things that you said, the engagement, the social engagement, the shaking of the hands. I mean, right down to what is your favorite color? I'm sure. Have you ever had a little battle of I want the black pieces and I want the white pieces, and you know, sharing and compromising, right?
Yes.
And you take the next move.
Yeah. And also the self-confidence. First of all, it was inculcated in our teachers when they knew that, oh, we could actually learn this. You know, we could start the beginning process of just setting the board, the pieces, brought that confidence. If I can do this, if I can learn chess this easily, then my children can. So that also boosts the self-confidence that we've been talking about, which is very necessary for children to thrive in life.
Oh, I think the self-confidence is the most key element, because the minute they start doubting themselves, that's when kids get in, or anyone gets into trouble, right? The fear, the doubt. So no, this is all positive. Everything about chess that I have noticed in the past 3 years that I've been with Nick Palaveda on the TV show has been positive. And by the way, Nick is a chess master and lawyer too. So, but I just find it to be so healthy mentally as well. And do you see a change in the kids when you teach them these things?
Well, yes. I must say, most children with, sometimes I wouldn't say behavior issues, I would say children who have high cognitive skills. That's what I would say. You know, when we see children being a little bit antsy, when you engage them in the chess play, they seem to calm down and begin to really concentrate. You know, so it somehow boosts their cognitive abilities. Those children are higher in problem solving, you know, because they want something to challenge them. So we've seen that kind of growth in our children in terms of problem solving and being able to, you know, plan, set goals for themselves. Like they know that this is what I'm going to do. When I put a chess board before me, I'm setting it up. So they are concentrating on that and doing that. Another thing that has really worked for our children is the communication. When you hear children use, you know, words like diagonal, you know, I'm moving it sideways, and all those kind of words that really help with their communication. That's
Right.
I
something
never
that
Right.
thought about that, but you're right. All the different movements that are made. I mean, the horse would make the most complicated one to me, so I always thought that was quite interesting. But yeah, some little engineering skills there.
Yeah.
So let me jump back in here again. Thank you, Abby, for sharing that. And you know, as we're talking about early education and using the game of chess to address that, especially with, in this case, we're talking the Head Start program, assisting those who are at the lowest income levels and some of the greatest barriers to success. I'd like to bring this back to you, Bob, and Joel, of course, as Executive Director of Head Start. Why is that so crucially important? You know, why is it important to invest in early education and help the kids?
You know, it's fascinating that we're here today with the Attorney General, because so many kids come to school unprepared, and when they come to school unprepared, they don't do well in kindergarten. They have a hard time catching up. And honestly, what happens is some of those kids end up meeting Bob later on in the court system, in the prison system. So there's quite a bit of symbolism in just us having this event and this conversation today, because we want to get those kids off to the right foot in the beginning. So meeting Bob at the age of 3 and 4 and learning chess and doing all these things, hopefully we're setting them up for the future. But unfortunately for a lot of kids in our state and across the country, we're setting them up for failure. There's thousands of kids just in the state of Washington who are coming unprepared for kindergarten. About half the kids right now in the state of Washington come to kindergarten unprepared. That means just even basic counting, letter identification. So we're trying to change that trajectory. And I'm glad that we're doing it here with Bob right now today when they're young, so they don't have to meet with Bob later on and when there are bigger problems and getting involved in the court system. And that's very expensive. I'm sure you'd agree. It's a lot cheaper to teach kids to play chess and get them ready for kindergarten than it is to incarcerate somebody later on, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one more way to get folks, right, on a path of, to your point, self-confidence, right, in a game that's intellectual, and that, to your point as well, look, age, race, class, gender, doesn't matter, right? Anybody can see if they apply themselves to it, and it's a confidence boost, I think, for kids, and you see that at young ages, so it's fantastic from that perspective as well. Yeah.
So Joel, tell us a little bit about what your initiative is. You've got some great things going on here. Share with us a little bit about what you've been doing.
You're talking about specifically the chess project, I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah. I got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just about chess. This whole show's about chess.
You know what, Elliot and I, we had a chance to meet, is it a couple years ago?
3 now.
3, yeah. I look a lot older. He looks about the same. It's probably the chess that's keeping his mind sharp and nimble. But, you know, we got together and we really discussed, you know, could we do the things that when we work with kids in the K-12 system with chess, or we work with kids that are wealthier, who are playing chess and are playing games like this, could we take that and do something in the preschool age levels? Could we do that with 3 and 4-year-olds and use it as a boost to help these kids get ready for kindergarten and really change their lives? I mean, I don't want to overstate it, but for many of these kids, that extra boost in math and social emotional skills going into kindergarten can be the difference again between graduating high school, going on to college, getting a good job or not, and you know, and having a real negative trajectory. So, you know, Ellie and I have been working together for, I guess it is 3 years.
Wow.
We've been really fortunate. We got a grant for the last couple of years from the Boeing company, which has been terrific in being able to get this project up and going. And now we're excited. We're gonna take this statewide. And I know, you know, their team has been terrific in really working with local programs and Abby's folks at Children's Home Society and others across our state to really make a difference. So I see this.
Let's talk a little bit too. I just want to emphasize something for the viewers. To understand the grant process is very difficult one to get a grant. To get something from Boeing says a lot. I mean, you know, but you didn't just get it once from them. You've received it more than once from them, which means that your program is gaining traction and it's something that they highly, highly approve of. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been an exciting project and a great partnership with Chess for Life. So excellent.
Well, I appreciate that. And I just want to add, I blame Joel
Yeah.
for my
Thank you.
awareness. And I mean that in a good way, of course, because for 16 years, like I said, I've been full-time doing chess the right way, because to try to make a living as a chess master is just not a great choice. In fact, I like to say for all my students, I've done my job when they quit chess. When they understand it's about learning life. But 3 years ago, Joel shared something that opened my eyes to that trajectory we've been talking about and that importance of early childhood education. Yeah. And I have to say that today, this is probably one of the projects that has given me the most joy to see students, 3 and 4-year-olds, and now students, even a Native Indian tribe is now beginning to do this with their preschoolers, and then, you know, in different parts, and to see companies like Boeing going, yeah, this is what we need to invest in so that we don't have to do that remedial education later.
I remember when we first started, when we brought this concept forward, we entered a social venture partner competition. It was a nonprofit competition. And they said 3 and 4-year-olds playing chess, that's impossible. How are you going to get them to do that? But yeah, here we are today with the Attorney General taking on Damani. And you know, I saw her staring at you. I think she thought she had a chance. You know, I know they didn't have enough time to play a full round, but the Attorney General looked actually pretty nervous. and I know he's a calm and cool, collected person in court, but you know. So anyway, but it's been an amazing project, and and just to see the light bulbs go off in these little brains, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a great project.
Let's talk about the expansive scalable growth model on this, because we're talking about preventive. So when you teach a child at this age something like this, as they get older, they become a mentor, right? You start seeing them teach others, right? And so all of that just keeps growing and growing in your program for Chess for Life. So it's not something that they just learn today and leave and do something else tomorrow. You know, it's something that they can carry with them and keep sharing the knowledge. Am I right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, chess for life is simply not to play chess your whole life, like we just said, right? It's about life skills through the game.
Exactly.
And that's where seeing these partners come together to impact the community is a joy. I know we're running low on time.
So let me ask Bob a question real quick. Bob, you see a lot of at-risk youths, or have in the through your years in the court systems. This is a positive impact on something. This can be a positive impact. Am I right?
Well, chess is a hugely positive sport game, whatever you want to call it, for all the reasons that everybody is sharing, right? It teaches so many of the life skills that from my standpoint, or so the whole package, right, of giving those life skills that can lead you on a path that can really assist you navigate school, own your own choices, think ahead, be civil with your opponent, right? Shake hands, those social skills as well. And I literally was just giving a talk to a group of about 300 lawyers, and it was about civility in the law. And I literally talked about how I really think my first exposure to civility, truly, like outside of my parents, was in chess, how you start every game by shaking hands and you end every game by shaking hands. It doesn't matter. It's a good lesson. You've lost a crushing defeat in a game you care a great deal about, and yet you must shake hands, look the opponent in the eye, good game, and often go over the game with your opponent afterwards. That's sort of the tradition in a chess game, which, you know, I said to these lawyers, think about that feel like after you've lost a trial, you go over, you would shake hands with opposing counsel, shake hands with the judge, and then retire somewhere to a coffee shop and talk about the case and what mistakes you might have made and what you could learn from the other side. Look, you don't see that too often, right? But that's a skill that chess teaches you, and it really transcends many other things.
Yeah, Elliot's gone over a lot of games with me afterwards about all the various mistakes I made and what I could have done.
Very
So
quietly, of
I'm
course.
appreciative of that, and being an attorney, I'd be really curious to hear a presentation about civility in the
Right.
law.
There
Would
you
be
go.
another, but maybe with the work we're
You know,
doing with this
maybe-
project, we'll see that.
Maybe in court, sometimes instead of battling out the way we do, we just play a game of chess, right?
Yeah.
And for the children too, when they are setting up their pawns, for instance, and setting up the whole chess board, it's about competition a little bit, but more about cooperation. So when one finishes setting up, with you know, when you go, I am done, I won. Oh, your neighbor needs help, and they quickly go over and help them set up. So that's understanding that it's not all about me. It's a really great skill.
It's about everyone else. So real quick, I always like to ask this question from IBM.tv, and we're reaching out to millions of viewers, not just nationally, but internationally. What do you think we can do to help this program grow as a community?
Well, I appreciate that. I would say there's one element that stands out most of the time. What do people think of when you say the word chess if they've never played? Usually it's like, oh, I'm not sure I can do that. It's complex, it's hard. And that's why to hear of 3- and 4-year-olds doing it is quite unusual unless you've been in that space. So the two things I like to say is it's not about chess. Chess is a vehicle. We're seeking the outcomes, and you don't need to know chess in order to bring the benefits. And that's why it's hats off really to the teachers, the facilitators, the managers who have embraced it as a vehicle, even themselves having never played the game. And I think that courage to take that up and experience and then see how the kids grasp it and develop those skills is really the key message, because I think there's otherwise a mindset that chess is only for smart kids and those who have it and the intellectuals. Now, every kid can do this and get the outcomes. So to me, that's the message that needs to be global.
Okay, so again, it's the confidence impact. One more question for Bob, if he doesn't mind. I found out an interesting fact about you, and this isn't bad. This is just, I'm not a newscaster looking for the bad stuff, but it just caught my eye. You were, and I don't know if you still are, a big baseball fan. And you apparently went and visited a lot of baseball stadiums.
Yeah.
What spawned that? That caught my eye.
Yeah, so yeah, after college, I took a trip with a college buddy to go see a baseball game every Major League Baseball stadium. So,
Wow.
you know, I just was a baseball fan. It seemed like sort of the quintessential American trip, you know, and I had a couple of months. I didn't have a job. I had a couple of months, and so we did it. So we actually had 2 rules for the trip. One is we could not stay in a hotel room. So that was one, no hotel room. So we camped, we met people at stadiums, we slept in the car, and then we could not buy a ticket at the ticket window. So somebody had to give me their ticket, or we would buy it from someone outside. And so just because we had to raise the level of difficulty for it. So we had a great trip, and for another time, I'll tell you about, during that trip, I sat next to a man who later became president of the United States. But I'll save who it was for the next interview. I've got a picture to prove it. I've got a picture, and that president signed that picture for me later on after he became president. Yeah.
Well, I've got one
Trip.
question.
You know, I'm just so impressed because you used chess skills in that trip. You put challenges to yourself, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So my last question is, as one national master who's too busy helping kids through chess to play chess, and the AG who obviously is too busy to play chess, do you want to play a speed chess game?
Oh man, finish me off quickly. How's that? Finish me off quickly.
All right.
Make quick work of me. How's that? How many minutes are we doing on this?
Sure. Can we do it this way? This work? 3 minutes?
Oh,
5
3
minutes?
minutes.
What do you want?
Well, let's do 3. We'll get over with quicker that way. Oh man.
Okay.
We'll get
Are
over
we
that
ready
way.
for this?
3
I am
minutes.
ready.
3 minutes. Ready?
3 minutes. I'm ready.
Okay. How do we
All
move the? Oh.
All right.
Okay.
All right. It's a speed game. Let's just have fun. We'll just go for it. We'll go for it. Three minutes, huh? 3 minutes. Let's see. Do this. Sorry about that. He's quicker than I am. I can see that right now.
Well, he's used to playing 3-year-olds.
Right? He does have a little more time with this.
That's an edge right there.
I should be able to do something. I'm getting that queen out of there. "49 seconds left. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I got to, yeah, 3 minutes is fast. Okay. Mistakes are going to start coming soon now. Yeah, maybe not. Something's going to fall apart here. Sorry about that, Elliot. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah. You got me on this one. You got me on this one.
Wow.
I think this is your game. All right, good game. Yeah, good game. Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, there you have it, folks.
Thank you.
Live
Yeah.
on IBM.tv, a speed game between two chess masters and champions.
He's the only chess master still. Yeah.
Okay, well,
That was
thank
25 years
you
ago.
so very much for all of this wonderful. It was just very entertaining. But thank you so much for inspiring and working on our youths and trying to provide them a brighter future. I appreciate that.
Thanks. Thanks so much for covering
Thank
this.
you guys, and we'll see you
Thank
later.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you for
and
joining IBM.
taking the time to
Yeah,
support.
Next
Yeah,
time.
appreciate that.
Hey, great
Pleasure.
seeing you.
Nice
Yeah,
meeting you.
thanks so much. Yeah, I appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for being here, everybody. Yeah, really appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
no,
Yeah,
great
that's
for
fun.
that.
Well, hello,
Thanks for
Zach.
that.
How's it going? Good, good. I like that shirt you got there. I've got some for you. Everybody here has a gift for you. You got the right eye on the right thing. You got your eye on the right thing. That's a chess clock.
Whoa, I can practice it.
Have they ever shown you chess clock before?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it. That's exactly how it works.
Whoa.
When you make a move, what do? You think you press the button, and that starts my clock. And then I make a move, and I'm going to press my clock, and now you're going to start moving. See, you got it. I like you're fast. That's the way to do it.
You can push.
Can you let her push it too?
Pretty cool, huh?
I push.
I see speed just coming.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ty, I got some for you. Can I break you away from that for 1 second? You might want to look. It's from everybody here.
Say thank you.
Very
And I
nice.
think we have something for you as well. Where'd you go? You're hiding back there. We have one for you as well. Look at this. Would you like a chess set as well? So much. Thank you. Oh, that's right, right into it. That's the way to do it. By the way, I didn't ask you what your favorite piece is. I normally ask you what their favorite piece is.
What's your favorite piece?
What's your favorite piece?
This.
Chiffon.
I mean,
Chiffon? These guys?
No, actually, the king is it.
Yeah, the king is.
Oh, the king.
Yeah.
I don't
right.
can we touch them?
The books.
Do you have a favorite
Can
piece?
we
Do you have a favorite piece? What piece do you like the best?
Which of them?
Which one do you like the pawn the best? The rook?
uh,
Bishop? King? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite piece? Oh, yeah, frustrating.
All right, tell us
Frustrating.
which one you like
Yeah.
most, Money. Which one do you like
You can
most?
touch those books.
What's your favorite?
You can touch those
Which
books.
one?
Absolutely. You can touch
Is
those
it the
books.
queen or the?
can we read them?
You can read them, absolutely. It's not exactly light reading.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you know. It's
What
not,
kind of book is it?
it's not light reading.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
But
ready
you know
to
what?
read. He's ready
You're
to
ready to
read.
roll. I like that. Oh yeah, a little civil jury instruction.
Oh my gosh,
Good
that's
night,
your
good night,
next
good night.
lawyer there.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll try to do a quick photo.
But when he's ready to work here, you let me know.